Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Stone Genius Podcast. My name is Ro. I'm your host of the podcast. You know me, I'm often stoned, I'm always a genius. Okay, most people are uncomfortable with silence, so there you go, a little silence for you. Oh, thanks. Okay, quick update. So I'm going to be all over the place. I have taken so many pages of notes. If you follow me on Instagram, guess what the name of it is? At the Stoned Genius. But not that slow. At the Stone Genius. All together. Follow me. That'd be great. Okay, but there'll be some pictures. So I've done so many notes, and I'm trying to catch up. So here's the thing. It's a good thing I did a ton of notes. Once again, God looking out for me, the universe looking out for me. I had done so many notes in advance that I was like, if I keep doing notes at this pace, I'm never going to catch up. I mean, I was doing more notes than I could possibly do shows at the time. However, when Dakota got jangle hoppered, sorry for the technical medical jargon, but when Dakota went down with the spinal stenosis a couple weeks ago, it really, hold on. Yes, it did. So now I have notes in, I filled up pages, and then I I think I have arrows. I gotta find them. See, I have so many friggin' notes. I am so far behind people. Good for you. But so I had to skip over some because I'm not ready to do this program. I have a page and a half worth of notes, and the other half I was going to incorporate it into today's show, so I had to highlight it, and then I wrote in the fitness show. So then I have to turn, I guess it's just the next page. Hold on. Seemed like when I was doing this highlighting that the page was much further away than the next page. Oh, so new strain, RS11, rainbow sherbet, not sherbet, SHERBET, sherbet. So that's rainbow sherbet, 11. I don't know what the 11 is for. Maybe it's 2 1s. Maybe it's 1 1. I don't. And yes, I knew that 1 1 is 11, but it could be 2 separate ones, not stuck together. I like that. The ones and then doing this. Ooh. That's probably annoying on your end, so you're welcome. Let's see. Oh, see, now I got a nipple story. I hope I wrote that down, because I don't remember the nipple story. Oh, I do remember the nipple story. See, this is how I'm going to be all over the place. And you're welcome. And you're welcome. So there should be some cohesive points to this show. So originally, this was going to be the fitness show. Because I was going to do it a couple weeks ago. And then this was going to be the show that came out when Dakota went down. And I was going to tie it into the end of Speedo. I know I don't wear a Speedo. It's another brand, blah, blah, yada, yada. So a bikini brief season. It's the end of bikini brief. So I was making that determination. I had determined that I was going to, for lack of a better term, participate in Speedo season next year. We let that one get creepy because once again, it is Speedo season. And I think I should get a deal with Speedo. Or I probably should. That just seems to make the most sense. Because if I'm going to describe it as Speedo-like, however, not Speedo brand, it would just make more sense if I just went with Speedo and then cuts out all that stuff. So this was going to be the I'm Fit show, and then a whole bunch of stuff's happened from there. So I was going to talk about Speedo season. So when we moved to this apartment complex, we heard that there was someone that wore a Speedo there. And I was like, challenge accepted. Okay, I've been using that way too much today. So challenge accepted. No. Yeah, I don't know. Let's take that one. So challenge accepted on that. So I was like, I'm going to do, because I was like, yes, I should be able to wear a Speedo. Because it is not for the others, it's for me. However, one of my notes that I've written here is that, so to be able to wear that, I do have to say in a certain shape. That's, I mean, I don't technically have to. There's no rules or guidelines. Although it was funny, I've told this story before. I will tell it again now. But when I was looking for my last swimsuit, the largest, an extra large was size 32-inch waist. And I was like, that seems really small for an adult. Now that I think about it, was I looking at children's? Hope not. So anyway, as an adult, a 32-inch waist for an adult male would seem, while it seems like it should be appropriate, it is, I would hazard a guess that most adult men have a waist larger than 32, regardless of their height. That is what I would say. That being said, someone who is 6'5" and does have a 32-inch waist, I was very happy. I know. Ooh, did you see how I did that? And into the it's because they're next to each other. I mean, when there's buttons or, let's say, holes next to each other, if I can finger them at the same time, then it works perfect. So that is, or in this case, yeah. So, yeah, if the buttons or holes are next to each other, no problem for me. Okay, what else do I have? Oh my gosh. Okay, so see, on most of the buttons, when I push the start, I can hit it again and it will stop it immediately. This one does not do that, which may be why I don't use it. But what is this one? Oh, that's the music for Bobby and I show. I have been away from the keyboard, obviously, way too long. I know that button still. Okay, so where was I at? I was all over the place. So fitness. So, here's one thing that I wrote. I always say that here's my problem, and I apologize. If you go to Instagram, at The Stone Genius, there's going to be a lot of pictures for this particular show. There's going to be pictures of all the notes I've written. There's going to be pictures of me maybe after working out and perhaps in my Speedo. Now, I will tell you this. If you look at last year and this year, I apologize. I have the same Speedo. Not Speedo, Speedo-like brief, bikini briefs, whatever you want to go. My suit, same last year and this year. Because here's the deal. I told Bobby, now, she should know not to listen to me. Once again, the very first thing, not the very first thing, one of the first things out of my mouth was a lie to her. Not on purpose necessarily, but when she said, "Did you pull out?" and I said yes. And we have our daughter Mo. Hold on, I got something for that. Okay, see the clapping's appropriate for that one. Anyway, so first season I was like, I'm gonna wear a Speedo, and then I thought I will get tan enough that then I can just I'll have those tan lines. Once again, my reason for wearing this type of suit is to have as much tan as possible. If you would allow me to go naked, I would. I am telling you, if literally I was laying at the pool and someone just came up and said, hey, new rule at the pool or law, whatever, you can be naked here, boom, it's off. Now, I would probably definitely have to see some sort of documentation. I mean, because if Pam comes down and tells me I can be naked at the pool, I'm probably not going to get naked at the pool. Hold on. But I will say, so I've always said that it's for myself. It's all about the tan. But one thing that I found out, and I was going to do that again this year. I was going to wear the suit like for a month, just until I got dark. And then I wouldn't need to wear that suit. I could wear like a regular suit that would be appropriate, more appropriate if you ask others, for someone my age. But I have failed last year and this year to ever transition out of the bikini brief Speedo-like suit into a more normal trunk style suit. So, well, here's the thing. I keep getting darker. I mean, at the end of summer, I forget to wear a watch a lot of times. So at the beginning of the summer, because I don't wear one to work, it's a long story. I'm too afraid that I will either damage and or lose one at work because of what I do. Anyway, so I forget to one of my first things I want to do when I get home is put a watch on. I love wearing a mechanical style watch. Anyway, I didn't wear it early, and then when I did wear it, I was like, oh, well, today I wore it, and I could see that there were tan lines. So I was obviously still getting darker. So as long as I could prove to myself, I could use that information to Bobby and say, I'm still getting darker. And she would just shrug and be like, whatever. I'm sure that what she wants to say is,
Liar! You're a liar!
you know, she misses. I think that's the whole reason she's really slowed down on doing our podcast. It's not that life has got in the way. It's that she no longer has the ability to access that voice, that button. That is one button she does not get to enjoy anymore. Unless she sits in my seat, which if she sits in my seat, I'm going to be enjoying that button. No! Dang it, that was the wrong button. See, I should have done the two. See, like that. Boom, the same time. So anyway, I went through the whole season. So next season, I will have a new suit. I am going to do my best to make sure that it is supplied to be by Speedo. I don't know. Here's the deal. I am sure that I will probably, knowing me, spend a lot more money and time and effort to try to get Speedo to somehow sponsor me during the season or the program or something than it would cost me to just go out and buy one. Yeah. So I just decided to leave some silence there. So I wanted to go circle back around. So I always say that I wear it for me, which is true. Now, I do think that the tinier the tan line, the better. The difference between a one-piece tan line and a bikini tan line is very different. And there's a difference between having board shorts that go past your knee and a bikini brief Speedo style suit. That's what here's what I thought was funny. So Bobby got a new suit this year. Looks phenomenal in it, but she didn't want to wear it to the pool because she thought it didn't give her enough coverage. And so like when I looked at the suit that she's comfortable wearing and the suit that she didn't want to wear, the difference between like the edges like would cover your dairy area in the backside was maybe an inch on each side, maybe an inch. And I went from something that was hung below my knees to something that quite honestly is 6'5". They need to make a little, here's the deal. Waist size, not a big deal. That is not a big deal. Once again, I'm not saying that I have a huge penis. I'm just saying I have one that's appropriate for someone who's 6'5". So someone who's 6'5" doesn't generally have a 32-inch waist, which doesn't put them in that suit, which I'm just saying that maybe compartmentally some changes could be like an engineering student who may be listening to this program. If they go, I really want to be an engineer because I love Legos or whatever. I don't know what people do to love engineering. So let's say they're in engineering school, but they don't know what they want to engineer. I'm sure that's actually not a thing. I'm pretty sure that no one goes into engineering school and go, I hope I get through this thing. I'll just take classes until something comes to me. So let's just say that we need someone in the engineering field to take a bikini brief Speedo-like suit and maybe be able to have a small waist, but maybe structurally change part of the rest of the suit. I'm just saying, if there's someone listening, if they wanted to give that a shot, I wouldn't be opposed to being a beta tester for something like that. That is, I was going to say that's all I'm saying, but that's not all I'm saying. So here's the next thing. So I was talking about the difference between tan lines. Me going from waist to knee being like fluorescent white. And I have olive colored skin, so I'm probably not as white. I am definitely not as white as some people. Like when I am just lack of sun, unexposed skin, I am probably ahead of the game than most Caucasianal people. So that being said, I still don't look that the white areas don't look good. So like the nice thing about the Speedo brief for me is like from hip to above hip to waistline, you can see that transition. It looks almost like an ice cream sandwich. 2 dark layers sandwich, white layer. I feel I should have just moved on and not had to explain that. That being said, let me get back to tan line. So I will tell you, there's sometimes when Bobby looks at me that I will say that I believe naughty things will happen later. That's I cannot read minds. We've been together for 27 plus years, so I think I know her pretty well. And generally, if I see her giving me those looks, I know something weird and exciting is about to happen. Maybe not about to happen, but will happen within the next X number of hours, let's say. Let's see. Here are other notes that I wanted to put in on Speedo season 2024. That's what I was talking about on here. It is so difficult. I mean, I don't know. I want to blame something other than age/maturity. So instead of growing older, we'll call it maturing. As I mature, things seem to be more difficult. The weights, like all of a sudden, I feel like all of my dumbbells have been mislabeled. Like someone came in and like has secretly replaced my 12-pound weight with like a 16-pound weight. Because I don't know why it feels heavier now than it did earlier. And I'm afraid that with an upcoming birthday, that just once that calendar ticks over, that it'll get even worse than that. And that would be funny now that I've said that out loud. If that was like a type of gaslighting, like to make me think I was getting weaker. We've secretly replaced Rodney's weights with heavier weights. Let's see if he notices the difference. And then I'll just be over there. I'm so tired. Why can I only do 8 reps? Let's see. Oh, yes. So I was talking about, I think I mentioned Dakota earlier. So Dakota's been, she's healing. She's getting better. I she's getting better. I'm excited. I'm still worried. So today I had to take her back for a follow-up to the doctor, and I was so nervous to pick her up and put her in the car. I'm like, if I pick her up and jangle hop her back, I'm sorry about the language. If I fuck up her back, then I was going to be beside myself. So I was so nervous. And then I was so slow. So here's the deal. Like, a lot of times I will yell at people, like, why are you taking this curve so slow? But that's what people were probably doing behind me because I was trying to. So how about if everyone I've ever yelled at for going too slow around the curb had a dog with spinal stenosis in their backseat? See, I couldn't do those at the same time. They're not next to each other. And while I could have used 2 fingers, which Bobby sometimes prefers, I could have done that. I did not do that. And sometimes you can just use the same hand 2 fingers and spread them out. Let's see. Okay, so I was talking about Dakota again. So Dakota now, because of her bad legs, we had steps for her to get into our bed with us. So when she would sleep with us, she would come up the steps. So we've removed the step from there, which for the longest, I was afraid she would just try to jump up on the bed and then major fail, hit the side of the bed, go collapse into the ground, something like that. But she hasn't tried that. She's been sleeping on the floor. So now that she has started sleeping in the bedroom again on the floor, I have decided she's not getting in bed. There's no step there. She will not just get up in bed. That's not her personality. So I've decided I am going to start sleeping nude again because I do prefer that. And it does have its benefits. Now, I know that Bobby won't do it, and we've had this talk before, the whole fire thing. Once again, you're basing, I'm telling you, it feels good. I don't know if I don't know how to wear pajamas or I don't know how to wear clothes that you wear when you go to sleep. I don't know what's going on, but I seem to get tangled in my clothes more often on more nights than seems like I should. It seems like I should be able to put on shorts with no drawstrings or pockets and a loose-fitting, comfortable t-shirt and not be strangled. Ooh, hold on. Now that it feels like straight, I'm just kidding. But no, I don't know what it is. It seems like when I roll over that I move and my pants or shorts don't. So I just get twisted up. So it's a constant battle between me and my pants or my shirt. And how often, now this is a short sample group. It is only the last 2 nights, but I have not woke up a sweaty mess. Hold on. I got something for that. I don't know what. There we go. So every once in a while, because I think it's when I'm traveling to a different dimension, I'm probably doing something heroic and active, and so I'm all sweaty in this universe. So I'm laying there naked, and we'll get back to White Bobby, and we've talked about it before. We'll talk about it now. It is the most ludicrous thing. So she will not sleep naked. If you ask her, she will not sleep naked because she's afraid of a fire. Once again, I go, how many fires have you been through? Because I thought this was like a PTSD type flashback, and like I've been through so many fires, and I just can't handle none. The answer was 0. She has been through 0 fires thus far in her life. So I was like, so your decision not to wear pajamas is based on something that has never happened to you. So her fear is so we're in an apartment complex now. So her fear is we run outside and she's naked. Like there's nothing in between. Any exit we would have, you would have the ability to grab something. I mean, we're not the let's just say I don't always hang things up in a timely manner. So I would say that anyone in our family exiting our room via the window, via the wall, just kidding. So through the window or the door, you should be able to grab something readily to cover yourself up. But let's just say you couldn't. Let's just say it's one of those days I smoked a strain that made me want to really get stuff done, so I have hung up all my clothes. Boom, naked, and there's a fire. And shoot, I don't even know how our alarms. Do we just have smoke detectors in the apartment? So if someone else's apartment, there's not like a, I don't know any of these answers. I should probably know. I mean, I have my exit plan, all the alternatives and things. I have all that planned, but I don't know how. See, I forgot that first step. How am I alerted? Interesting. Kind of seems like that might be an important step. Anyway, I always say to Bob, so let's say there's a fire at our apartment complex. So it's kind of like a horseshoe or a U. So there's buildings on the end of each. So there's a drive that goes down past the buildings, and there's a parking lot to the north, and then there's buildings on the east and west, and then a building to the north. So that's the setup for the parking lot. So let's say our building's on fire, we have to go out. There is a good staging area. Now there's going to be too many cars in the way for the fire engines and stuff, but they'll just have to push things out of the way. Which honestly, the way that some people treat cars in our parking lot, it's not like we would be able to notice the next day anyway. Oh, actually, that really should be that one. Anyway, so let's just say I've hung everything up. There's a fire, whatever route we use to escape. We are unable to garner. You are unable to garner anything close. I'm not grabbing anything. Honestly, unless it's cold out. If it's cold out, I will grab something. If it's warm out in the summer, no. I will be out there buck naked. I am fine. I would grab shoes. And if they said shoes but not shorts, I'd be like, yes. I have tender feet, and I don't want to hurt them. Anyway, I keep telling Bobby, I tell her almost on a daily basis that she is hot. And so here is my theory. And I don't want to say I would like to test this because it means that we'd have to have a fire. So I don't want to test it. Maybe we could run like a fire drill. Like there's not an actual building on fire, but everyone's out in the parking lot and then see. Here's my deal. I think that when the firemen get there, that she won't need to be embarrassed because she'll get a lot of attention. I think that they will see her and they'll go over and go, oh, ma'am, are you all right? And be talking. And then someone will be like, are you guys going to put some water on the fire or just help the naked lady? And the answer will be help the naked lady, which honestly, for any hetero male, that is always the answer. Helping the naked lady. What were you doing this afternoon? I was helping the naked lady. Why? It was a naked lady. I mean, there's not a lot of them around. But, like I say, if there is a naked lady around, there's probably something like a fire going on, and they probably need to be attended to. So I'm saying that, Bobby, and now I don't know a lot of firemen. The few that I know personally or have met personally, all of them are in very good shape. The ones that I've seen on calendars that circulate out there, all those seem to be in good shape. So here's the thing. You're going to have attractive guys coming, woo, 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 and your concern is that you're naked. I'm going to tell you, and you have given them a story. It's always about the story you leave with them with. Because unless there's something at the apartment complex fire, were you on that call last night? Yeah. Was it a big fire? Yeah. That's it. So were you on that call last night? Yeah. So when we pull up, there was this hot lady staying out there. She was totally naked. She sleeps nude and didn't have time to grab clothes on the way out the door. So see, you left him with a story as well. I would be out there. I mean, I sometimes go to our parking lot naked as it is. I do not do that. Like I say, if you don't want to look at me naked, don't look at me naked. I do not need someone to look at me naked. But I would like to be naked. I don't know. I say that now, and I am naked a lot. I am probably naked more often than many people. Not everyone, but many people. I am more naked than. But my thought is, because it's not like I'm a Neanderthal. Like Neanderthals, I think when they sat on their couches because they were probably made of stone, didn't really worry about their buttocks touching the stone. Me, I will put something down. We have a blanket we term the sex blanket, but it really is just a protective barrier between what my body or our bodies, me and Bobby, our bodies, it is just a protective barrier between what may or may not be ejaculated from us. And so it's a barrier. So it really can be used as anything. So I will sit on that couch and stuff. Every once in a while, I'll still walk out. I'll go, kids in the house, turn around. Yeah, because I do like being naked. Now, I will say this. I don't know if I say that I like being naked, but would I like doing everything? Because here's the deal. For a naked guy, it's going to, if you haven't spent your whole life doing certain tasks naked, it will be a change. Like, think of this. So I have always, this is just the way I was raised. I don't know how you were raised. I was raised to take my showers with no clothes on. So I am completely naked when I take a shower. I don't know if you guys just heard that, but I have headphones on, and evidently there's a storm going on here, because that was close. Friggity fraggity fluke. With these, oh, woo. That's fun. Maybe I should push pause on this now and go out there and, no, I'll get hit by lightning. Let's see. What was I talking about? I got sidetracked now. Nude. Yeah. I don't know what I say. Man, that really broke my train of thought. Anywho, anyhow, anyway. So, sleepy nude. I am all about it. I don't. Let's see. So, there's also some other benefits to it. Let's just say that. So, Bobby gives me a kiss goodbye every morning. Generally, it's on the head or on the lips, depending on if I'm awake or which way I'm facing, things like that. Generally, that is the geographical target location of her kisses. Not so much the last 2 days. Hold on. That really didn't need that. Let's see. What else do I have to say? So we're talking about nudes and blah and being naked. Because this is fitness. Here's another thing. So my FCR, I had torn my FCR, not a sex injury, a workout injury, not a sex injury. So, because I'd had a couple sex injuries, this not a sex injury. So I torn ruptured my FCR. So it seems to have healed. But now that I have not done push-ups in 8 weeks, and remember, over the last 3+ years, since February of 2020, I've done over 100,000 push-ups. And so me going 8 weeks, I've had a couple surgeries on my hand, but I even think it was 8 to 12 weeks probably. So I'm in that neighborhood, but here's the deal with the thumb. It was an injury indifferent to push-ups. This actually happened doing a push-up. So it does scare me because I've been working out without doing push-ups. So that does scare me, which is weird because I don't want it to rupture again. I have this note here, so I'm going to read it. I don't know. I feel like I've said it before, but I probably haven't. There's an ad for a legacy box on YouTube. Something about, I don't know what a legacy box is, but all I did was say to Trinity was legacy box. I feel like I already said this. I'm not going to finish it. So someone who listens to the show can reach out and tell me whether I've already said that. Let's see. What else do I have to say? Speedos, naked. Speedos, nearly naked. In the fitness show. Oh, so I'm going to say this. If you don't listen to The Longest One Night Stand with Bobby and Ro, listen to that. That's the podcast I do with my wife, Bobby. But one thing we will talk about on that is, I'm going to talk about it now, is the person that had the... So when I grew up in the 70s, there was a commercial for Reeses Peanut Buttercups. And it was two people that would come around the corner, and it was very sexually charged. So the guy would be... Generally, the guy would be eating the candy bar, the Hershey's chocolate bar, and the girl would have a receptacle full of peanut butter. Because, okay, candy bar, eating it on the street, I guess. Sure, eating it on the street seems more appropriate than eating peanut butter out of the jar, because when it happens, there's not like, I don't see like a spoon or something come into the picture to help out the situation. So they come around the corner and bam, he randomly it just is perfect. I mean, like, for everything that had to work out for Bobby and I to meet each other. And that's why I say that there's a God. For these two people, this should be their reason there's a God. For the timing for them to come around the corner, because the timing had to be perfect. A split second sooner than one or both of them will see each other before. A split second later, they're gonna miss each other. One will go by the other, and so it had to be perfect timing. They had to be the perfect height for one another. Because if she was taller, say she was Bobby's height, and then say there was a guy that was like 5'6", and he comes around the corner, he is gonna be jamming that chocolate bar into her vagina. And I was gonna say that's not a good thing, but the more I think about it, I mean, I'm trying to think of the drawback. I like not jam it in. But if Bobby came to me and said, my vagina tastes like a Hershey's chocolate bar, wouldn't it be opposed? Now, I would need to make 100% sure it was Hershey's chocolate. Get it? I don't feel like I should have to explain some of these. Fudge. And not like fudge. I mean like poop. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway. So the timing had to be perfect. The height had to be perfect for them. Like when they the reaction time. Like if even one of them had a split second reaction time that was just a little different, then once again, maybe the candy bar doesn't go into the receptacle of peanut butter. Maybe he jams it in between her breasts. I don't know. Now I actually am going to go back, watch these videos, which you can find on YouTube. I'm going to watch these videos, like the Zapruder film. I think I said that right. From JFK. I'm going to watch these videos to see if there was a little bit timing differential, how that would have impacted the two of them. And I know that there were multiple commercials, but I feel like you could pretty much do one and that algorithm would work from commercial to commercial. I think they built them the same way. I feel like it's not like they have these people that are perfect for each other, and the next time, Shaq wants to do the commercial. So then they have Shaq with the girl. Because I'm going to tell, if Shaq is doing this, even if they come around the corner at the same time, that is not a Hershey's chocolate bar that just went into the peanut butter. It was his penis. Shaquille O'Neal's penis. Now covered with peanut butter. Now let's see what you do with that. Let's see. So that was the basic. So that's what I started thinking about first. And if you're like thinking, Ro, why do you think about this stuff? I really don't know. And I mean, I would try to figure it out, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't think even if I knew it's going to change. Like if someone said, oh, you think of this because you're an idiot, I'd be like, okay. And then it's not going to change. So it doesn't matter if I know. Let's see. What else do I have? I can use this. The nipple story. I had mentioned it earlier, and then I couldn't remember. So here's the deal. And it actually tied into notes that I had already written. So what I had written was Grammarly is more, it's AI. So Grammarly, if you've used it, Grammarly is using your emails, text things, depending on what you have it in, and it will help better your grammar, which I need. Even as a genius, my downfall was grammar. Like verbs, nouns, adverbs. It's, seems like a lot of people that I would say are beneath me understand those concepts a lot better than me. Now, I will say, I don't have to, like, what the fuck was when you had to like dissect a sentence? Fudge, I don't know why. I couldn't wrap my head around that. So I do like Grammarly. But here's my initial notes on Grammarly. Equaling AI is making people less intelligent. Oh, I didn't read the whole note because I was like, no, it's not. It's making less intelligent people look smarter. And to me, and it does, it helps. So here's the nipple story. So I typed Bobby a text where I had mentioned earlier, God, I'm tying in two stories. Hold on. So, see, I was going to tie in two stories and then did I forget? So, no. So the nipple story was, because I sleep nude, when Bobby left, she did not kiss me on the head or the lips. So let's the nippular area. Okay, she kissed me on my boob, on my tit, on my nipple. That's where she kissed me. Okay, and that's how she kissed me goodbye. And I will tell you, that is, if you are not fully awake, that will get you fully awake, especially with Bobby. I mean, that, and then it's like, thanks a lot, leave after that. Hold on. So anyway, I send Bobby a text, and I said, hey, thank you for kissing on, I forget how I put it. Shoot, now I gotta push pause. I gotta find my note I wrote about this. Okay, so like I said, I'm tying two kind of some stories together. So I had, the sleeping naked, the kiss of nipples, and then this Grammarly was actually on it was supposed to be attributed to a different show, but I wanted to tie it to this because I wrote, my text to Bobby was, thank you for kissing on my nipples. Once again, and if you are one of those people that can diagram a sentence and go, oh, I know what was wrong there, fuck you. Hold on.
Fuck you. Okay. That's cool that you know that, but how's it helping you? And if you say, well, I'm a professor of literature, blah, blah, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to say, how's it help you? And I don't care. So even if it does help you and you repeat to me, you're like telling me, hey, this is how it helps me. I don't care. I don't care at all.
I thought that if I said it in that voice, it would sound better. If I said it in my voice, then I just sound like an asshole. If I say it in a rabid Wolverine's voice, which I'm going to get to, I get it. I'm trying to make that sound like a rabid Wolverine and get that, but that's not even what I'm picturing in my head. That was late. So I wrote, once again, thank you for kissing on my nipples. Grammarly, which I have, it's tied into my emails, my texts, and everything. Come on, make me good. That's what I want. I want to be great. I don't want to be perfect. That's not a thing, but I do want to be pretty dang good. Better than I am. I just want to continue getting better. So thank you for kissing on my nipples is what I was going to send, but Grammarly said, and I was like, what do you mean, Grammarly? And Grammarly said it should say, thank you for kissing my nipples. So I guess because kissing is the verb that I don't need the word on. I want to say preposition, but I don't know if that's right. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. See, I shouldn't be worried about this. I am glad that Grammarly made my text to my wife about kissing on my nipples. Sorry, kissing my nipples. I appreciate that it took the time to correct me. I would not want to be wrong, but I will say that Bobby would not care. Even if I sent the first text and said, thank you for kissing on my nipples, and she was like, why did you put on in there? I don't know. You've known me for 27 years, but here's the thing. I don't think she would care. I don't think. So autocorrect does a lot of things, a lot of weird stuff to my text. At least I'm blaming autocorrect for it. So the fact that I didn't, but I might have sent a text, could have sent a text that said, thank you for kissing on my nipples. I don't think she was going to hold that against me. I don't think she was going to come back to me and say, you should have done that. So now I'm crossing that out, so hopefully I won't tell you that again. There's some good notes. That's a good note. Oh, the new strain, RS11, sherbet. Let's see. Speedo, this, that, and the other. Bongos. If you haven't heard the song Bongos, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Yes, I think Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know. It has Megan Thee Stallion in it, and so here's the deal with Megan Thee Stallion. Pretty much, whoever's in that, and then it's Megan Thee Stallion. The other names just float away. Like you could say Elvis and Megan Thee Stallion. You know who I remember? Megan Thee Stallion. So, but the song Bongos, the video is good. It is more in line that the words, the lyrics to the song, are reflected somewhat in the video, so that is very nice. But the guy's voice, bong 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 bong. I would love to have a remix with that not in it. Cause I mean, I think that if it was, I want to say if it was a synthesized sound that it would be better, but it may not. And if it's absent, it may not be good at all. I mean, it's going to make me remember that song. Someone's going to say bongos, and I'm going to remember the bong, 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 bong. Let's see. I think that's about it. We got so I had to cancel with it, not cancel. I postponed with the guest because of Dakota being under the weather. So nipple story, cross that off. Cross that off. Oh, I'm going to finish with this. Let's finish with this. So Peanut Buttercup. So when he comes around the corner, bam, jams his, I mean, that has to be perfect. I mean, it's like when two basketballs get stuck in the hoop together, because a hoop is twice as big as a basketball diameter. So they should both fit perfectly. But the timing, once again, has to be perfect for that to happen. So the timing for him to get because typically, unless in the 70s they were structured or built differently, typically a Hershey's bar is not something that can withstand a tremendous amount of abuse. Heat can damage it very quickly. It's brittle. You're not using it as a bridge. You're not like, oh, let me take one of these and step on it. Oh, give me a boost. You're not using it as that. So once again, the timing had to be perfect. So many things had to be perfect that it's almost inconceivable that Reese's Peanut Buttercup ever was invented, especially based on this initial interaction. Because then he pulled it out. I mean, I don't know if you weren't afraid of getting some sort of sexually transmitted disease, but as I remember, he pulls it out, the still fully structured Hershey's bar. He pulls that Hershey's bar out, and then I think he takes a bite. I mean, I don't know. That just seems pretty intimate, that he's just going to take a bite of her peanut butter like that. I mean, like, was he able to determine upon contact and withdrawal with a removal of his Hershey's bar, was he able to identify the type of peanut butter? And quite honestly, I don't know if there are varying types of peanut butters back in the 70s. I don't know if smooth peanut butter was like something that came around in like the 80s or 90s. I don't know when the technology came for taking peanuts actually out of peanut butter and making it smooth. I mean, it seems like that would be alien technology. I mean, us having peanuts in peanut butter and then having smooth peanut butter, we didn't learn that technology ourselves. That was given to us. Jason's listening to that and he'll be like, yeah, yeah. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Totally agree with that. And I don't know why that's what Jason sounds like. But yeah, that's how he sounds like. He sounds just like, kind of like Jimmy Stewart, who may or may not be touched a little bit, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I sure do. Let's see. So AI. I need to talk about Kansas City not needing a new baseball team. Did I finish my last thought? I probably didn't. I don't even know what it was. So I have so many notes still. Oh, you people. Peanut butter, right? So here's the last thoughts. There are so many different types of peanut butter cup now. First of all, how is the technology, the black wax paper that they use, how does it still peel a little bit of that chocolate off? I get it. But don't you think out of X number of years that should have been solved? It seems like they have perfected the peanut butter cup. The taste is magnificent. So why wouldn't they have a group? I mean, just recruit the best of the best, like Top Gun, the best engineers, and figure out how to make a clean break from that wax paper that it comes on, the peanut butter cup comes on, to being able to take it off. Why is it always a little right there? I don't understand that. It seems like that should be solved. Then, I would love to talk to Mr. Reese's or Mrs. Reese's themselves, or Peanut Butter or Cup, whoever. I'm not sure who would have the most knowledge on but I would like to know, like, when they make different ones, like bats for Halloween or Christmas trees at Christmas. When they do that, do they have to fine tune it to taste, or are they doing percentages? Like, is it a percentage of chocolate to peanut butter ratio? I mean, I've written a lot of notes about this, and I'm not going to go any further than that, but I think that a lot of those answers we need as a public, because I think that they're hiding a lot of what they do with peanut butter and chocolate technology. I mean, they're not as open about it. Everyone knows about peanut butter and jelly. Anyhow, let's see. Everything merch for I think that's about it. I'm going to get you in at just under an hour. Thank you for flying Row Airlines. Yep, that's it. Anything else I need to talk about? No. There are going to be a lot of pictures. So there are going to be pictures of notes. There's going to be pictures of me in a Speedo. There's going to be pictures of me working out. Last thing, we're going to go back and touch on fitness. So I hardly weigh myself. I'll tell you one thing that I always do for Bobby. Not always. I take pictures of myself in some sort of undress, and I will send them to her. And that's for both of us because hopefully she likes them. She hasn't said, now that I think about it, I think she has said stop sending them to me, but she hasn't blocked me yet. So I have continued to send them to her, but they're for me as well because then I can see. You can visually see if there's changes. And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And if you can go, oh, that's not good. And I'm not always talking about up. It could be down as well, especially in my case. So that was it. Thanks for listening to the show. Oh, yeah. Don't call it a comeback. I wish I could play that song. I wrote that about the original, the OG Speedo guy, Brian, because he's back to wearing it. Because he hadn't done it for years, and then he started coming back this year. I feel bad. We look like twins when they're there. People cannot tell us apart, so I feel bad for the others that go to our pool. Luckily, pool season's over. So I crossed out all of these. This is episode 235. Jamity cracker crew. Never thought I'd get... Yeah, I did. I did think I'd get here. Probably. I never gave it a number. I never thought that... I never said, oh, I'll do X number of shows. Although I have given it thought of where I would want to stop it. And we've already passed 69. So that's not an option anymore. So I guess 690. Which, just because that's 69. I guess actually the next one would be 269. If the zero it's 690 and then a zero at the end, I guess I could start it with a 2. But I'm not going to do that. Why would I deprive you of all these notes that I've written? Wow. Alrighty. I do have a lot of notes. So we got shows coming up. So I will make sure I get them recorded. I will make sure that I get them out at least a couple of weeks. Dakota's on the bounce back, so as long as that's happening, I should be a little bit more rested because I was not doing that while that dog, whatever was going on. Anyway, my name's Ro. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Talk to y'all later.
I seen you on Instagram, enjoying your night. I know that lost soul look in your eye, but you're smiling as if everything's okay in your life. And I really do hope that you're doing alright, but I miss you now, though I got no right. Cause you were never really mine. You changed your mind 1,000,000 times a day. You send me every which way, but then I see you found somebody better than me. Well, I guess I'm not hard to beat, but honestly, I can't bear you complete without me. Cause I'm lonely when I'm surrounded. I gotta sleep with your arms around me. Wake up, still dream about it. We're both too young for fading, but I'm fading over you. And oh my God, it's always you. There's nothing I can do. Cause I'm a ghost now, haunting my own bedroom. I got to get out, but I can't let go of you. And I will never really understand